Hi, I am Shomo. You are watching me on my YouTube channel Shomo Sugar Mitro, and let's begin today's video. So today I am going to talk about Mufasa the Lion King, the movie which I recently saw. Disney India has sold its stake of the India venture to Geo. Okay, so now the Geo and Disney merged together to form Geo Hotstar. Okay, so I have watched Mufasa the Lion King just a few days ago, and I have something to tell you guys that I think some of you may not agree with me, but some of you can agree with me. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so I watched Mufasa the Lion King, and I think everyone knows the story, the background, the history that Mufasa Mufasa was the king of the jungle, that area where he ruled, and he had his brother Taka, which he eventually becomes Scar, and why his brother converted from Taka to Scar, and why he killed Mufasa in the sequel, or you can say, why he killed his brother. So, the Lion King, the original story where Taka killed Mufasa and Simba took his revenge. Okay, and we got to see the background, the history of Mufasa, how he was from born baby lion to become the ultimately the Lion King Simba, the Lion King Mufasa. So yeah, so it's an prequel plus sequel. Okay, yeah, it's a story continuation, and so okay, so the thing is that Mufasa was a really brave and strong lion. Okay, no doubt about that. He was really like the lions of the lions. Okay, and he was strong, and I think everyone loved the character. But and I think everyone sees Taka as a villain, but when you really see the movie deeply, okay, and you can really tell that something's not right. It's like it's an misportion to claim that Taka was the villain, but actually he's not. Okay, Taka was not the villain actually, right? So you can really say that if you draw a parallel line between Mufasa and Taka, okay, so I think both have their strengths and weakness. So we can measure them as equal. Okay, so no one is like over and above someone, and no one, the other one is sidekick or lesser than that. No, I think so. The first of thing you can say is that okay, so Mufasa, when he was young, he was separated from his family, and he was in the river flow. Okay, so Taka saved him from the crocodiles, and yeah, so okay, so Taka saved him. You think that's not a big matter, right? Okay, so that's not a big matter. Someone saves someone else. Okay, story end. But what the next thing is really that Taka wanted a brother. All right, so Taka really wanted a brother, and Mufasa, he was a baby, and Taka was also a baby, but Taka was the one who actually, was taking care of him, right? Who Taka really wanted a brother, a real brother. He may be adopted, he may be a stray, he may be a stranger to the whole lion kingdom of Taka's family, right? But actually, Taka really cared for Mufasa, right? So, and he really meant it. He really, from the bottom of the heart, he wanted Taka. He wanted Mufasa to be his brother, like, and the same goes for Mufasa also, right? When when they have gone to the race, Taka really like slowed himself down so that Mufasa could win and could stay with them, right? And it's not Taka's fault that Taka is weak or not so strong, because Taka's brother, the Lion King, Taka's father, who was the king of that part of the jungle, he did not let Taka go with his mother for hunt or be brave, or all the things that Taka should have learned from his mother, who was very brave and strong and sharp, right? But actually, Taka's father let Mufasa to stay with her mother, and he actually didn't care about him at all, and he always wanted him to go away, right? So when Mufasa he used to stay with his mother, Taka's mother, he learned all the ways, the capabilities, all the strengths, and everything from his mother, right? So it was not Mufasa who was born with that sense of smell or strongness, he could fight or no. Everything he learned from Taka's mother, and it was not Taka's mother's fault or Taka's fault to to get along and fight. No, it was not completely. It's like the way of the lions, right? So we cannot blame Taka at all. And when Taka faces the two white lions, right, when they came to attack, it's not really, Taka was really scared because he never faced, right? Because Mufasa and Taka's mother were always hunt down, and they were always they always hunted animals and all the things, they bring food to the tribe. So Mufasa was used to it, like strong or weak, whatever kind of animals. He may not have faced lions, but he used to he had kind of a advantage, like how to fight and all, right? But it's not Taka's fault. Like you can say that, yeah, Taka should have gone along with his mother to know the things, but first of thing, that his father always wanted him to become the king, and kings don't actually go hunt and go fight and all these things, right? So we can blame that to Taka's father, right? But Taka actually was a kind-hearted guy, right? A kind-hearted lion, right? Yeah. So when, and Mufasa and her mother and Taka's mother fight the two lions and kill them. All right. Then let's go, and another part of the story goes. So now, when Taka's and Mufasa's journey began, so somehow they are getting along. Taka also learn lots of moves, right? They escape lots of troubles, right, from the lions, and they go to, and they travel to the the great place where actually from where Mufasa belongs, right? So and let me tell you that now comes another part of the story where Sarabi came, right? When Sarabi first introduced herself, and Mufasa could smell her body's odor, and the flowers and all those things where she comes from. For the first thing, that Taka was the one who has first fall in love with Sarabi. It was not Mufasa, and Mufasa never ever fall in love in the first time with Sarabi, right? And Taka was the one to name, actually Taka was the one who actually guessed the flower's name, and it was right. It was never Mufasa who guessed the flower's name. He could only smell the flower, but he couldn't guess the name, right? What was that flower? I think moon something, right? Yeah. So the flower's name was actually Taka. So he guessed it, but that Taka really wanted to love her, and it could have like they could have get little more time to get along. Then Sarabi think I could have loved Taka, right? But the game changes where the white lions hunted them, and they started hunting them. Then the elephant pride, that whole thing happened, right? And Mufasa saves Sarabi. From that moment on, when Mufasa saves Sarabi. From that moment on, Mufasa realized that she fell in love with Sarabi. But actually, it was like, I cannot say that it's his fault, but it's, Mufasa could have let it go. Like, yeah, he wanted, he later told Sarabi that Taka actually saved him, but in between the lines, Mufasa fall in love with Sarabi, right? But a brother for a brother was always the tagline. You can say that a brother always stands up for a brother, and Mufasa just did that. But somehow it's not his fault that he falls in love with Sharabi. It could have happened to anyone, right? But when in the snow mountain, when Sharabi told Mufasa to that he loves Mufasa, and Mufasa also confessed to Sharabi that he loves Sharabi. But Mufasa really could have avoided that, and he could later that, yeah, that Taka first fall in love with her, and he could, like, as a friend, Mufasa as a friend could really tell Sarabi to go and say, Sarabi in the first time could have not loved Taka at all, but maybe in some point they could have really loved each other, right? I think that could have been a really game turner, really turnaround for the movie, right? And for the whole perspective that it was never Taka's fault, that Taka never knew that Mufasa fall in love, but actually it was he who loved her, right? Taka had first loved her and not Mufasa. And when Taka find out, I think maybe if it was Mufasa, it depends on person to person, or in this case animals to animals, or you can say that if you are human being and you may be strong, you may be weak in love or whatever, like Mufasa could have easily let it go, but he didn't. And Taka was, as he is the weak and he thought so, and when he saw that actually Taka did not betray Mufasa. Actually, Mufasa who betrayed Taka. Yes, that's the real story. Mufasa might be the hero of the film, but not to the story, because Mufasa actually betrayed Taka. Yeah. So when Taka found out that Mufasa loved Sarabi, and also Bison versa, I think everyone could have changed their mind, right? Like for anger, they could have anger, or even like Taka couldn't have done nothing else, right? Like how he gave the all the the weight of his love to Mufasa. Like he told Mufasa to let Sarabi fall in love for her, right? It was Taka who gave the responsibility of him to Mufasa, right? So that he can and Sarabi could go together, right? But Mufasa misused that that relationship, that the responsibility, and I'm not saying that he is completely faulted, but he somehow is fault, right? So yeah, that's why Taka he got angry and he got betrayed, right? I think everyone could get betrayed by your own brother, right? And he then thinks of that his father told him that that Mufasa will one day betray him, and so on, that his mind then clicked, and then Taka went to the White Lions and they teamed up to kill Mufasa, and so on. You know the rest of the story. But then the turnaround for Taka came when he realized that he really didn't want to kill Mufasa, and he cared for his brother, and he was only angry because Mufasa betrayed him, right, with Sarabi, and not the vice and not the other way around. So Taka really placed the White Lion to spare Mufasa's life, and when he didn't listen, then Taka faced himself, and he wanted to give his life to save Mufasa, right? And that's why he ended up with the scar, right? So, and then after that, he eventually saves Mufasa from the pool, right? So, in all these things, right? And but the most things that Mufasa could have really forgive Taka, but no, he told to that he would never take his name, and he exiled him, right? He let him stay in his the kingdom, but he exiled him, and he really did not want to call his brother. That's why Taka chose to name him Scar, and I think that's not that Mufasa could have really forgive him, because if all these things is his fault, right? So yeah, I think that's my story, and I think whatever you want to tell me, you can tell me. Like, you want to share your story, right, with me. And so I am signing off. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you, and comment, and okay, bye.